the way it kind of went down was our sergeant major, battalion sergeant major, Jody Macy. He came by, said, "Hey, I want you to go do something, and it's not in our AOR." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool."
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's and you can do stuff on verbal orders, like go buy an airplane ticket to Washington D.C. and call this dude when you get there. That was it. That was my marching order. So
that's what you did?
Yep. Like, got 3 or 4 days. It was Nate Chapman, Ed Duke, and myself. They got picked out of the group to go. So, and of course, they had to see what our records were. Basically, it was like, "Hey, have you ever been on a horse before?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, we have a horse family."
Yeah.
And then, I was a medic, and then I had dropped concrete bombs in Korea like 6 months before. So like you're good.
So they picked you guys from the experience you guys had.
Right.
So it was you three flew to Washington?
Yep. Yeah, we flew to Washington D.C. We called the guy. We linked up with him, and after that, it was just kind of a whirlwind of activity where, go buy this. Basically, we had to set up everything from radios to guns and camping gear from nothing. So it was for 6 people. So.
So why didn't the Army provide you this stuff? Just because they wanted like no record when you guys go in, or?
Yeah, exactly. It's just cash. It was all cash based.
Okay. So then you go in November. You go to Pakistan first.
Yeah, we go to Pakistan first. Mm-hmm.
And so that movie that came out a couple years ago of those first 11 guys that went up to Afghanistan. That was
nickel.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks before you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty close to about the same time, actually. I think they were in the north while we were trying to develop routes and people to actually go work with in the south. So we had a working relationship. It was not the greatest, but we had a working relationship with the Northern Alliance.
That's right. Okay.
And that was our access, right? So. Yeah. Through Dostum and a whole bunch of other the warlords that have been fighting against the Taliban, they had access. Now, getting access to the southern part, the Pashtun areas of Afghanistan, was more of a chore. It took us a lot longer to try to develop somebody down there that would actually host us.
So you fly in civilian planes?
An event for them.
So you fly in civilian planes to Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Or to Pakistan? And
we flew into Pakistan in the C-17. So,
okay.
I mean, there was not that much going on at the time. There was like 12 of us and 2 pallets in the back of a C-17. So, we could spread out, sleep on the floor, etc. But we did get into Afghanistan in a very small 2-engine prop plane.
Yeah.
And I think we were actually the first folks to land on Kabul International, and and we had to do a couple circles around it. So this our pilot was an ex-Navy fighter pilot, so we're flying around looking for something that he can stick his plane on, and then there's craters, and we right at the last bit of light, we're looking around and trying to see if there's anything on the air, long enough that we could actually stop. So
because they had been bombing weeks earlier.
Yeah, because of the bombing, right?
Yeah.
And but he found a spot, and he stuck this airplane. I've never seen a landing like that. I mean, it's like all of a sudden I'm like reaching for the shit bars, like holy shit, man, we were going straight down.
Yeah.
And then at the last second he just pounds this thing onto the on the airfield. It was like so that's what it's like to land on a aircraft carrier.
Nice. And so where do you go from there? You have your mission, and you guys start going heading towards the south to try to build these relationships?
Actually, yeah, we still didn't have access. So they were doing raids and stuff like that, but we had no permanent access in the past Gardez and further south towards Pakistan. Basically from God, what is that? Peshawar all the way across. I think we had the one area in Kandahar that the Rangers had taken earlier, and that's it. But that wasn't by invite.
Okay.
So what we were looking for was host nation, or we were looking for a Pashtun warlord that would host us,
Okay.
that would invite us down there.
Yeah.
Because without that,
and you guys are tenting this whole time? You're staying in people's homes, or?
No, we were staying up in Kabul. We were staying at the Ariana Hotel at the time.
Okay.
It was we had some sandbags and a few guys guarding it. That's it. I mean, it was no electricity.
Yeah.
When you're flying around at night, on your nods, you could see a little bit of lights, all just candlelight or fires. I mean, at the time there's no running water, there's no power, no electrical grid at all. It was just,
Is that still because of the Russians back in the 80s and stuff that it was so bad?
No, the Russians had done quite a bit. In fact, the Ariana Hotel was this monstrous Russian building, and it was very well built. You could see pictures every once in a while of people walking around Kabul, Afghanistan, in ladies in skirts going to college with books in their hands, men wearing Western style clothing. Now it's in the 60s, right? So part of it, the Afghan-Russia war, and then the Taliban was just,
really screwing things up, yeah.
Pretty harsh, right?